AirPlay21 presents Determined Women with Coni Koepfinger.
Hi, welcome to AirPlay21. This is our last show of the season. Thank you, Joe Eisen, for that wonderful music. And thank you, Rachel Love, for producing this wonderful show that helps so many artists survive right now with the pandemic. And we just have to do our work. We have to do our art. But we will be back. We're going to take 2 months off. And then, as we always do, and this is our 7th year, and we're going to take some time off, but you guys responded like wildfire to me, and we are booked all the way, Determined Women and Airplay, into December of 2022. So we've got a big lineup next year in the fall, and then the spring, and then the fall again. So we got a heck of a show coming for you. It's great. So thank you. It shows us that you love us and we love you. Today's show is Determined Women, and we always take and interview somebody who's had the determination to be in the theater and to be a big name and to do what they do and to be able to do it the way they do it. And today's show, we have one of my dearest friends, Mary Ellen Ashley. Carrie, can you tell us a little bit about Miss Mary Ellen Ashley?
Sure, Connie. And I just wanted to say I'm so happy to be with both of you to close out the season and here with you in Determined Women. And I wanted to take the opportunity to thank you, Connie, and our producer, wonderful producer, Rachel Love, and all of the playwrights and actors who made it happen and made it such a wonderful season. And now it's time to introduce our determined woman this week, Mary Ellen Ashley. I've had the pleasure of working with this lovely and talented lady. Mary Ellen Ashley is an actress, singer, dancer, and producer of Broadway, television, and film. Mary Ellen has been recognized as a distinguished professional in her field through Women of Distinction magazine. Her resume includes many off-Broadway credits and most recently 2 filmed pilots, The Bunny Hole and Americanos. She's also spent many years in regional theaters, including playing Dolly Levy in Hello, Dolly 11 times. And was in Music Man, Funny Girl, Cabaret, Best Little Whorehouse, 42nd Street, Fiddler, and Gypsy, to name a few. And now, without further ado, take it away, Connie and Mary Ellen.
Mary Ellen Ashley, welcome, 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 welcome. Hello, you have your audio off, I think. Are you speaking? No, her audio is off.
Yeah. Welcome, Mary Ellen. Could you turn your audio on?
No, it's fine.
There we go.
Hey.
It's fine.
It's crazy with, I don't even mind this because live theater is live theater. We've lost sound in live theater before too. So Mary Ellen, tell us about your life. How did you get started in this crazy business of show business? You've had an incredible career. Tell us about it.
It started by a walk in the street in the neighborhood I lived, Sunnyside, Queens. And there was a very good friend, we called her Aunt Mabel. She loved and she had this white hair. And she ran an organization for orphan children or children who were kind of demolished by the Second World War. This was like back in 1946. So she was giving a big, like a party at the Hotel Astor, 3,000 people there, and she put on a show. At 4, and we went to this thing. It was in the afternoon, and at the end of the big time entertainment, she asked me to come up on the stage, and so I did. And everybody went ooh, because I was a little girl with blonde curls and cutesy.
How old were you?
And everybody went about 4.
4. That's what I thought you said.
I four. Why? Did I mispronounce the word four?
Yeah.
You can always count on Mary Ellen to have a joke.
Yes,
Oh,
definitely.
great.
Yes. Okay. So now I'm up there and they're going, ooh, ah, and I'm going, ooh, ah. I was shy. I mean, it was thousands of people there. And Aunt Mabel asked me if I knew how to sing a song. And I said, no. Can you recite a poem? I remember this because I not backward, but I was overpowered by such crowds of people, and there I was. I could feel it now. Anyway, she said, God bless America. I'll sing it with you, she said. We started, God bless America. And I went through as much as, but she was singing it with me, and everybody went, ooh, ah, and I went off the stage, and some woman comes running up to me, and she says, we must make her stop. The name of the woman was Madame Poignet, and she was one of the the givers to this charity, but she was also a European actress. I guess at a time when one could flourish there, not during the Second World War, certainly. Mm-hmm. And she was teaching, and she wanted me to come and take lessons. And my mom said, no, she's so little, Aunt Mabel kept, promoting until finally, maybe 3 months later, my mom took me there, and she gave me, I'm trying to condense this. She gave me a monologue to do called Mary Elizabeth Gets a Scolding. And I learned it, and she got me on Nick Kenny's Children's Hour. He had a radio show for children Saturday mornings at like 10 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning on WMCA. We don't even have that channel anymore on radio. And so I got a lot of crowds that wrote in and said, oh, she's so cute. And so I got another monologue for the following week, and I had like a crowd behind me, fans.
Wow, following.
And I kept getting a monologue from Madame Poignet. And here's the kicker. I copied everything she told me, including her accent. And I started out as an American girl and wound up with a Romanian accent. And people started to write in, what happened to Mary Ellen? What happened to the little girl? And so Nick Kenny said, you got to get her away from this woman. But this woman wanted me to meet, his name was Dudley Wilkinson from MGM. He was the New York casting director, and she was promoting me. But Nick Kenny put his fist down. He said, no. And he wrote poems, and his brother, Charlie Kenny, who wrote for, Nick was the Daily News, Charlie Kenny, I think, was the Daily Mirror. And one wrote lyrics and the other wrote music. And so I started to do their poems or their monologues or whatever they wrote, set to music. And that was my start. And I started to get kind of big time things. Like The Innocent Voyage, which was my first Broadway show. Wow. At the Alaska Theater. And I may have turned 5 by then. Mm-hmm. And then I got another one after that, which was Bobino, and another one after that, which was By Appointment Only. That flopped. We took it out of town and it crashed. And then I came back from that and auditioned for Annie Get Your Gun. And wow. I was hired.
How old were you?
So I was in that.
Yeah.
By the time Annie opened, it started when I was 5. I was probably around 6
Okay.
when the show opened. And
Okay.
I was in it for its full run, which was it 3 years or 4? Big time at the Imperial Theater. And that was, the send-off. I started to get a lot of radio shows. We had a lot of soap operas then, and I stayed with them until they transferred into television.
So how old were you on TV, on television?
The same age, 5,
Oh,
6, 7,
Wow.
8,
When
9.
did you go to school? When did you have a life? So your
I
life
went to,
became
well, I
theater.
did. I went to school. There was a school called Professional Children's School, which was
Okay.
created just for children who were studying for theater, for the arts. We
Wow.
had everything. Elliot Gould went there. That was Barbara Streisand's first husband.
Elliot Gould, sure.
Yeah.
So what else?
Allegra Kent, who studied ballet, and she was in the school. Just all sorts of big names. And I was in the first grade. And
Wow.
that's how I
Wow.
kept going and going and going and going.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm still going and going and going and going.
You are still going and going, and you're always in
Yeah.
demand, and
So
you're always doing stuff. So Carrie has a question for you. She wants to ask you from her perspective, as you have such a rich life in the theater. You've done so many roles, even of lately doing Billy Elliot and doing just so many things, Hello Dolly so many times. Carrie is in music and in musical theater as well. And I asked her to come up with a question or two about her directing so she could learn a little bit from you what you actually enjoy about directing. So Carrie, take it away.
So we've worked together, and I've worked with you as the director, as an actor, and I love working with other actors and directing actors, and also being in it myself, acting in it, acting in the piece and directing. And I feel like when I direct and I act, I learn a lot about myself. The experiences are rich. I've had so many wonderful experiences directing and working with actors. I had two great experiences working with you on Airplay. The Fortune Teller, of course, was the first one with Juan. And I just wanted to ask you, just like maybe share a story, like a really great experience where you learned something that really sticks out for you as a director and or actor in your life, something really that changed your life or made an impact on you in this business, like a great story or just something you'd like to share with us and with our audience today.
I'll have to go back in time, I think.
That's okay.
And kind of see what hits me. I'll tell you, that's a difficult question to answer for me, because I was packed full from the time I was 5 years old when things took off. And I learned from a variety of semi-names, big names. One thing stood out and taught me was being with Ethel Merman in Annie Get Your Gun. She was relentless, a hard worker, not overly social or friendly. When she came to the theater, it was work. And our first entrance, and this has always stayed in my mind, our first entrance in the first scene, in the first act, They followed and they did everything that she did up to a point. Of course, she was the sharpshooter. And the first entrance was on, what was his name? He was a owner way back in the Midwest. And he was holding a shooting contest with Frank Butler, who was the man of the hour in terms of a contestant who was not famous. And he found Annie Oakley. And he found Annie Oakley with her 4 little brothers and sisters. Well, there were 3 sisters and 1 brother, little Jake. So I was following her on the stage. And she was following a big laugh line where somebody shot off this lady's hat. And Ethel Merman every night would count from the time that her hat was shot off and the whole audience was going, ooh, and then they started and laugh. And Miss Merman, we called her Miss Merman, would count 3, 4, and on she'd go, which stimulated what was already going on the stage and in the audience. And the laugh grew from her entrance. And every night, matinee, every performance, that's how she counted her first entrance. And that stayed with me because it taught me timing, even as a youngster. Timing, how to get the most out of a laugh, how to build a so that your kind of amazing was at its peak with whomever was in the audience. So that was less of other ones. And I have to say, she was relentless. Her timing was just exemplary. And every performance was as good as the one before and better and better. And that was something to watch.
You know,
Story
and that's scary. You know, I'm finally now, Mary Ellen.
I'm here.
Okay, I was going to say that's scary because even I've just started to write comedy, as you know, with your play. Mary Ellen and I have been working on a play for a couple of years now. It's called My Dinner with Mary, and it just transformed into Live from the Bardo, My Dinner with Mary. And it's a phenomenal script. And our director, Dan Carter, came on board and he just transformed it and started writing it with me. So now it's a joint production, and Mary Ellen and Mary Tierney, we've just been doing, and Byron Saunders, we've just been doing this phenomenal work. But I'm telling you, I'm always, as a playwright, terrified of comedy because you have to totally trust your actors. I can trust you and I can trust Mary Tierney, but it's so hard for me to write something that somebody had. I mean, tell me, you guys tell me, you're the actors. How do you know? Like, you don't know. It's like singing, you don't know if you're going to hit that note, I mean, you do, but you don't, what I mean? It's insane.
Well, the Ethel Merman story, that's such a great story. I loved listening to it, Mary Ellen, but it also, there's something to like, almost she's creating for the audience, like the literal and metaphorical, like music, that counting when she came on, it's almost like the way you're, for music, you're counting. I just, for her entrances and how precise and intricate and detailed. And when I think about comedy, I mean, there's that aspect, but I think that you have to be having fun with it, but not looking for the laugh, not looking
Exactly.
for the
That's what I'm
laugh,
talking
but,
about.
yeah, but
That's
just
exactly
be in
what
it,
I'm
be
talking
in the
about.
moment and having that fun. And that's how, and also be detail oriented and precise at the same time, get that balance. And that's how the audience will find the laugh,
Yeah, that's exactly it. The audience has to laugh.
Correct.
You know what I mean? The audience has to find the laugh. They have to laugh. And it's like so scary to me as a writer to write a laugh, for somebody to do that. But it's been a phenomenal experience with me, with you, Mary Ellen, because you have that timing. And it's amazing that you shared this story because you actually, I don't know how to explain it. You do it so beautifully, even in life. Like, I remember the first time we met and we went into this, what was it? The West Bank Cafe.
West Bank.
Yeah, we went to the West Bank Cafe on 42nd Street. And first time I met her, and it was the middle of it was late afternoon. It was like 4:30, and we sit down at a table, and I'm kind of nervous. I know she's a big star, and she could tell I was nervous, and I'm drinking coffee. And she looks at me and she says to the waiter, "Get this broad a stiff one." And I'm like,
I said that.
And then she was, and
loosen things up.
Amazing. It's amazing that you can actually bring theater into life and then bring life into theater. That's, bring real life into theater and the theater into life. So that's a lesson for all of us. And I'm learning. I am actually learning so much about comedy, and I'm studying comedy, and I'm studying, and the whole idea of singing and the whole idea of bringing that to life and bringing the two pieces together. It's an amazing journey, So tell us a little bit about one of your most favorite works, something that you've worked on and that you absolutely connected with the character and felt like this was a part of your life and how it became magical to you. I think that's something that we all, the magic of theater is the miracle of life. And I actually believe that. And you shine. Mary Ellen has a catchphrase. She always says, "He took a shine to me." And I started hearing that. And it's just such a beautiful phrase, because when you say he took a shine to me, you're just a brilliant, brilliant human being. You shine from the inside out all the time. No matter what the weather is, no matter what's going on, there's a brilliance about you. So, but tell us about a play.
Even if I'm schwitzing.
What's that? What's that?
No, schwitzing. I came in from rushing outside. Schwitzing. That means you're wringing wet in Jewish. Schwitz.
So tell us about a magical experience.
Big question. Because I've had the opportunity. I wish I could show you. Maybe I'll turn this around. See things from the wall if I turn my.
Oh, we can see some things. I see Hello Dolly back there, and
I see some photos on the wall.
Over there on
History, living history.
Okay, maybe you can. I don't know. Can you try? I don't want to lose you though.
Yeah, we don't want to lose you.
Oh no, she must have unplugged herself.
Oh,
Carrie, tell me a little bit about what you felt with it. Oh, here she comes.
She's back. Welcome back, Mary Ellen. We just need you to put your video on. And unmute. Okay, and unmute yourself, Mary Ellen. Thank you.
So I've had a blessing in my life because I've had so many shows and strays, uh, it was utilized. So good out. I'm just looking at another poster. One was a Digger Mill play, a tap dancing extravaganza. So I know that I did ballet, I did concerts. When I was on point was to find out, because I got, you know, you point to your the
Oh, no.
I know.
You know, a couple of people have told me that the weather has been causing internet problems
Yeah.
with the extreme heat. So I don't know, you know.
Oh, she's
back.
she's
yeah.
coming back. I actually wanted to ask her, I was thinking about Hello Dolly when
Oh,
even
okay.
she was saying that, and what distinguished, she did it 11 times. And if there was one
Okay.
time that,
Perfect. Yeah. Go ahead. Mary Ellen, Carrie has a question
Oh, no.
for you.
so could you, Mary Ellen, could
Yeah.
you unmute yourself?
Unmute.
Unmute so we can hear you.
and I watch.
Oh, now we
Unmute.
can hear. I think, well,
There's no mute.
okay, you're
Okay,
good.
yeah,
We can hear
you.
you. That's good. I actually wanted to ask you, I know in your bio it said that you played Dolly Levy in Hello Dolly 11 times. So I wanted to hear from you.
Yes. And I also played. Should I continue?
Yeah. I wanted
I'm
to
off
hear if there
again.
was one time that distinguished itself from the others. Like if there's one time that really, of those 11 times, a certain production really stood in your mind for a certain reason, that it always stays with you and it had an impact on you.
It's hard to say, because when Bob, that's it. The rest of the time you're out there. I'll tell you what turned a corner a little bit. I had done a lot of dollies, wonderful. I mean, it was the right show for me, the right part. But then I got to do the matchmaker, from which Dolly was. It wasn't Chicago, it was Milwaukee. And a wonderful theater owner and director himself. And I got to do Dolly Levi, Gallagher Levi. That was her real name, Dolly Gallagher. And then, that was very spectacular, because he had hired some wonderful Shakespearean trained actors to be in it. And that was a very different experience from the marvelous musical that Dolly is. So that changed things for the Dollies that were to come. It was like
cool.
Learning.
Cool.
Good question, Carrie.
Oh, thanks.
Well, Mary Ellen, it's sad to say goodbye, but I'll see you shortly because I have rehearsal with you on Saturday. So, and that does it for us for the whole season. Thank you, Mary Ellen. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Rachel. And thank all of you for tuning in and making Airplay such a wonderful show. Thank you very much and have a good night.